Yeah.
Yeah? Oh. Yeah?
I love you, baby.
I love you too. Who is that texting you?
Nobody, baby. Don't worry about it.
Nobody. It says Tina. Who the fuck is Tina? Who the fuck is Tina?
Bitch, you know what? Get your shit and get out.
You know what? I love you, babe, but maybe we should take a break.
A break? Maybe you should kiss my ass.
Sound familiar? You in a relationship and this shit ain't working. It's time for the truth. This is the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Voice of Reason has returned. And we're back in the building. You know, I have a crew of girls.
Whoop.
Well, they're not girls, they're ladies.
Hey.
They're women. They're beautiful. They're dope in their own right. I need help. I need you to get to your phone lines and call us, 844-55-1. If you're unaware of who you're listening to, I'm Zoe Williams, the Voice of Reason on Dash Radio. Dash is the app, the network, and Hot Button is the station. Listen, this is a caller-driven show, and we need your participation. I'm feeling myself right now because I want to keep going with the parenting theme. Like Monday's show, we dealt with, what were we talking about Monday? I think it was some
corporal punishment.
You know, spare the rod, spoil the child.
Should you beat your brats?
Right? So I was like, let's keep with that theme because I wanted to get deeper into the toxic parenting side. Can your parents BS? Now, let me tell you what BS stands for. BS to me is an acronym for belief system. Can your parents' belief system and past behavior pollute a child's mind and future? We're talking about toxic parenting. I need examples of toxic parenting in your life. Maybe you've done some shit and it has adversely affected your child. Do you acknowledge it as toxicity? What about generational curses? Do you have a family who has some passed down, some nasty mental, emotional behaviors and practices? Is this toxic parenting at its finest? What about favoritism? Were you raised as the Jan of your family? You remember the Brady Bunch? Marsha. Did favoritism strain your relationship with your other siblings? And does your parent or parents still uphold that familial hierarchy? Today's topic, toxic parenting. Can your parents' BS/belief systems and past behaviors pollute a child's mind and future? Get to your phone lines and call us right now with your story. We want to hear how you've dealt with toxic parenting. Are you still estranged from your mama and them because you were abused in that way? 844-55-1. Once again, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the Voice of Reason, and I welcome you to the Better Business Bureau of Bomb-Ass Relationship Skills. This 2-hour session is going to take your shit to the next level. Trust me, I know. I've learned this shit from Professor Failure himself. And by the way, it should come as no secret that this show is here to serve your personal relationship needs. This is a relationship help desk. Call us about all types of bullshit you've experienced. It just so happens tonight we're talking about toxic parenting. Are you a toxic parent? Do you need tools? Do you need tips? Somebody call us right now and let us know the deal. Have your parents pushed you to a profession or a religion or a racial political point of view that you've since outgrown? And it is causing friction in the crib. You're going to be a lawyer, goddammit. That's what we sent you to school for. Now you off on this art shit, right? I mean, somebody holla at us. What kind of toxic parenting have you experienced? Somebody call me with their story. Have you ever heard a parent degrade another parent in front of the child? Ooh, what kind of toxicity were you raised in? Huh? I always tell a motherfucker, if you're swimming in a pool full of piss, you gonna get some in your mouth. Here's the number, 844-55-1. That is the number to dial. Were your parents a better example of what to do or what not to do in your life? And have you spent your life trying to either live up to their example or get away from it? 844-55-1. Don't play with me. Get on the phone lines and let me hear the bullshit you was raised in. Were you raised in a nasty household? And is your house nasty as a result? Cleanly parents tend to raise cleanly children, but they don't always follow suit. What did you model? Did you model dysfunction or did you model conflict resolution? How was your life set up? Toxic parenting is today's topic. Who sets up a show like this? Only Zoe Williams. Dash Radio, hot button in the building. Now, really quickly, let me introduce two of Zoe's angels in the building right now. We got the young gun, the soul flower. You know how she is. She's radical. She does what she wants. She lives the way she wants to live. Her own rules. Whitney Tabor.
Yeah. What's up, Zoe?
You know how I'm doing.
Oh, I got some stories for today. I'm kind of excited. I'm texting my brothers and sisters right now like, y'all want to hear how I'm the awesomest kid? Just call in, man.
Wow,
y'all
dope,
gonna hear
dope. And to her right, Ashanti Ford in the building. What's up?
What up? I don't even too much know if I want my family listening in on this. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Why is that?
Because I like to keep it real on the Zoe Williams show.
Also, we've got Veronica Conway on the line.
Yay,
we always
Veronica.
love to have Veronica in the building. VC, can you talk to us right now about toxic parenting? Let's frame it up for the listener so they can understand that they were born in a toxic environment. Because maybe some people don't even know. They don't even know where they got most of the bullshit they impose on their intimate lovers. Maybe it came from mama in them. Speak on that.
Well, it starts as early as the womb, because I have hypnotized big, highfalutin, fancy people who never thought they could be hypnotized, and I've regressed them back into the womb. And when they were in their mommy's belly, and where certain beliefs and things got formulated, and you'd be amazed. When a woman is pregnant, every stress, all of the emotions that she's feeling are vibrations, and they transmit to the baby whether the baby recognizes it or not. So there are things that get handed down intergenerationally. There are things that kick off as an imprint from when a woman is pregnant. The environment that we set up for our kids is so important from an emotional, energetic standpoint. We just cannot overlook that.
Wow, I got it. I got more questions. You know how I get down. But before I get to those questions, I also have to introduce a friend of Veronica Conway. He's going to join the conversation, and later in the conversation, he's going to provide nothing but tools and tips, right, on how to build your child's future. He has a very specific way to do this, and it's important that we bring him on. Let me tell you who he is, by the way. His name is Dan Everett. I want to pronounce his name correctly. Everts, right? Dan.
That's correct.
Everts, right?
Hey, Dan.
You see, I had to drag the S. I had to drag the T, the S, and the Z. Everts, right? That's the brother's name. He is a college funding expert. College Money Pros at gmail.com. I'm not playing with you right now. We got resources on the show. If you're in trouble with this college situation, this is the dude to talk to. collegemoneypros.com, headed up by their leader, Dan Everts, right? Did I get
Correct.
there? All right. Welcome to the show, Dan. How you doing, man?
Thank you, sir. You got that S and Z on there. You know that means somebody was fooling around way back when, huh?
You figure deal? Somebody mixed it up, but hey, we gonna ride with you, right? We gonna ride
That's
with
right,
you all the
that's
way
right.
through. So
All the way through.
I'm going to ask some questions, and I want you guys to think about these questions. And by the way, Twitter, get on fire. You know I'm going to come to you. I'm going to read all of your responses on the air live. I'm at Zoe Williams. That's at Z-O Williams on Twitter. Tweet your responses. Of course, I'm going to read them. And also, don't forget to call. We want to know your toxic parenting experience, right? As a parent, have you done something that has adversely affected your child in a way that you can see a difference or a change in him or her? And do you acknowledge it as toxicity coming from you? Do you wish your children into a specific career path because you failed to reach your own career goals? Living vicariously through your child is a form of toxicity as well, right? Ugh. Can we talk about that? 844-55-1. Let's do this right now. My panel is in the building and on the phone. Let's talk about your parental experience, starting with Veronica.
Dang it.
Yeah.
I was like, he's going to go to me. Veronica.
Come on, Veronica.
Do you mean my parental experience that I grew up in, or the one that I facilitated, meaning my own kids?
Well, you can do both. You know, you got history. Speak on it. Daddy and them first.
Yeah. Well, I'll just be brief. I mean, you know, I'm a daughter of the revolution, so my circumstances growing up as a child were very strange and different because I grew up as a daughter of the Black Panther Party, and I grew up in a communist collective, and we were preparing for war with the U.S. government, and that's just a whole different thing. I don't even know how to describe that thing. It took me years and decades of hypnosis and therapy and all kinds of things to be whole again because of all of the trauma that happened with that. So, I'm very aware of the impact that those, you know, that really negatively intense environments have on your psyche, because I had to go back and unwind every single one of them to be sane.
Wow.
Right?
See, even that right there is powerful.
I turned around and yeah, I had to do that, but I turned around and really made a conscious decision to raise my kids in a sane atmosphere and to buffer them from from the negative impacts of sort of the negative parts of my history.
Dan, tell us about some of the toxicity you extrapolated from your familial environment.
Well, you know, though, typical brother grows up, mom and dad are together, and next thing I know, dad is gone. And as a result, of course, it affected me. But I was fortunate enough to be raised in a family atmosphere with a strong grandmother and grandfather that took up the slack. So, you know, my dad used to come around probably once a year. Around Christmas time, I would see him. And it wouldn't really affect me, I didn't think. But again, you're talking about toxic parents. As I grew older, I mean, everything turned out great. My grandfather was a bishop in a Pentecostal church and a good background. And hey, I tell you, as I got older and I started actually thinking about it, and it did affect me in that I would start thinking, you know, I've never told my dad I ever loved him before.
Ooh.
And you know what? And I think back, he never told me that either. And as an adult, you're like, whoa, this is stuff, you know, you get older, you start thinking about stuff and toxicity. But as a result, it came out as a positive experience because, you know, I said that, you know what, my kids will know their father and know their father loves them all the time. And I got two great kids. I got a daughter that graduated from college about 3 years ago. And then I have a 14-year-old son who is definitely a project, but I love him to death.
Don't you love those projects, brother?
Oh, man. Oh, man.
You already know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, you know.
Listen, You brought up something that was powerful. How many parents out there don't hug their kids? I had a mother who tapped. She didn't hug. You know that half hug where you don't really embrace, but you tap the back of your shoulder blades?
Church hug.
My mother hugged like that, right? How many parents out there don't say, I love you? I mean, this is a real situation. Love is a tough emotion to express. Sometimes when we're parents, we tend to express love via what we do. If I didn't love you, I wouldn't pay for the food you eat. I wouldn't buy you the socks you want. But sometimes saying it has more power. Listen to this. Saying it has more power than displaying it. 844-55-1. We're on the Voice of Reason. This is the kind of conversation we like to hold up in here. We're talking about toxic parenting. Let me get over here to one of my co-hosts who's in the building right now, Ashanti Ford.
Yep.
Last week, you said something powerful about your pops. Talk to us about the toxicity growing up in your movement.
Well, let me just start by saying I don't have any children. Okay, so that's my vision. My parents
vision.
Yeah, that's my vision. My parents had me at 19. Okay, with very little resources. So I will start it by saying that. I grew up in the court order system. You know, this parent had to meet this parent here at this specific time and this and that. And even to this day, my mind still works on a time system slot. I always feel like I'm on someone else's time. But to speak to what we were talking about last time with my dad started another family a year after he left my mother's family. So I think my dad was really trying to just manage both with very little resources of his own. And if I may add to it, my dad didn't grow up with a mom. So, you know, that mom is that nurturer. So my dad didn't really ever have that.
He didn't have that.
He didn't have that.
That compassion.
Yeah.
But do you see what I mean by toxicity now being generational?
Absolutely.
How it can just be passed down, like instead of passing down material wealth and transgenerational wealth, it becomes transgenerational trauma, transgenerational hurt, like wounded souls just teaching other souls how to be wounded.
Right.
Whitney Tabor.
Well, I grew up pretty crazy. My parents split when I was 2. So I kind of noticed the toxicity coming from my mom, who I didn't grow up with, and I didn't really learn it until I went to therapy, and didn't really realize that I had something going on until I tried to get through my divorce. So I said, you know what, let me talk to somebody. And the biggest issue I had apparently was I have mommy issues. Most chicks have daddy issues. I think I have mommy issues. So I grew up with my dad and my stepmom, who was my second mom. I mean, that's my mom. But me and my biological mother, we love each other. I definitely saw favoritism between me and my sister coming from my mom's side. She definitely, you know, I'm biracial, I'm black and white. And then my sister, my mom remarried. My sister is Native American, so she's a little bit darker complected and a little bit heavier set. And I definitely noticed my mom always like just saying little sneak disses. I'm like, now that I'm older, I'm like, she definitely like kind of pit us against each other. Like me and my sister aren't as close as I would like us to be. And I think it's because of the favoritism that my mom played because I was the lighter skinned, skinny child.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
It plays a role.
Do you guys think being a latchkey kid is a form of abuse because in a lightweight kind of way, or maybe not in a lightweight kind of way, it's a form of neglect where mom ain't home. Mom is trying to live her life like she's still young. She uses the older kid to be the surrogate mom while she's out. The older kid has to clean, cook, and look after the other kids in a latchkey kind of existence. What do you think about that, Veronica?
You know, I grew up a latchkey kid, and I wouldn't recommend it. And you know what I did with my kids? It sounds crazy. As a single mom, the best thing I did with my kids is I built teams around them. So when my kids were, I had to travel a lot for business. And I worked from home as a coach, so that I could be really flexible around their schedule, you know. But I also had a team, and so I bartered with a nanny, coaching for nanny services. So when I traveled, the nanny was better than me as a parent, damn near, almost. I mean, 'cause the kids listened to her, they did whatever she said, so they never missed a beat. I think we can be so resourceful if we just get creative about how we're going to build the village around our kids.
Mm-hmm.
I had a nanny that I didn't have to pay for, and so, but I decided to have that. You know what I mean? So they could have so they wouldn't have any glitch in continuity in terms of being parented. I just think kids need to be parented today.
But you know what? Parenting, just like relationship, doesn't come with a manual, right? There's no relationship manual. So my point is, in a way, is the toxicity that manifests itself beneficial if you're paying attention to what you can learn about yourself? You know, as a parent, do you understand where I'm getting at with that?
If you can survive it. If you can survive it. In other words, the problem with most toxicity is that people never do an intervention to interrupt it. And so they just, because it's the water in which we swim, we'll hand it down unconsciously, not knowing that we're handing it down. So it can be a valuable tool for learning if you are willing to examine it and be very introspective and do something to heal it so that you don't pass it down.
Wow. This is a hell of a show right now. Dan, I'm going to get back to you when I come back from break. But right now, we are talking about toxic parenting. The phone lines are open. You know how this show gets. We're going to be talking to callers in a moment. 844-55-1. The phone lines are always on fire. That's what we do. Holla at us and let us know how the toxicity from your parents positively or negatively affected you, because I believe toxicity can positively affect you if you learn. Let's talk about it when we get back. Zoe Williams, voice of reason, Dash Radio, hot button. I'll see you in a second. Wow. Do you know mothers who take half-naked selfie pics with their children in the background?
Or I know some that make the child take the picture.
It's
Here,
wild
take a
out
picture
here
for
in these
mommy
streets.
real quick.
Wow.
We're
talking about toxic parenting. Do you know mothers or fathers who have chosen their significant others over their children? We're talking about toxicity. What does daddy issues look like on a boy? What does daddy issues look like on a daughter? What do mother issues look like on a boy? How does that dude act with women when he has issues with mama? Right? Ugh. Get to your phone lines, 844-55-1. That is the number to dial. We're having a great time. A lot of people are tweeting and responding to these questions that I'm tweeting out there. Veronica and Dan, I want to focus on you guys for a second. Dan, what does what potentially, I mean, I'm sure we have examples, maybe if it's not in our family, but we've seen other families. What are the effects of a toxic daddy on a boy? Could you speak to that?
Yeah, it can be absolutely devastating. I mean, if you look in society today, where are a lot of our black men? Prison. Mm-hmm. They had no one to give them guidance. Mama can only do so much. But I tell you, if daddy was there, it could have made a huge difference. I was fortunate because I had, backup. But then I look where I grew up in San Francisco, and I look at my 6 of my best friends I grew up with. 4 of us turned out okay, but two of us got caught up, and I call it slavery these days. In the system. And, I'm in my 50s now. A couple of them just got it straight. And again, neither one of them had a dad. As a matter of fact, out of our 6, only one of us had a dad who was around. And, you can't tell me that had no effect negatively on, what do you do as a man? Mama can't tell you everything, and she's not a man. So, that's a huge effect on and what's happening now is you got a lot of mamas, babies raising babies. And where is that dad? What is he doing? Wow, it's something that I don't know how to address it, but I'll tell you, it needs to be addressed. And, toxic parenting, this is a great subject you got going on today.
Thank you, brother. Veronica Conway, chime in.
Yeah, I mean, I think I know that one of the things that I've had to do for my son, and, I think I'm a secret weapon around what I do. Dan is my secret weapon around what he do. Dan is a college planning gangster, okay? And I've never seen a brother that does what he does for families in terms of getting education, like paid for, done and done. But one of, I've had to, in my own situation, put powerful, alpha, strong, concerned men in my life for my son, right? So that he had mentorship and had access to that male energy. Because, because boys need that. Boys need to bump up against a black man who's got a deep bass voice that's saying, "Knucklehead, what are you doing?" sometimes, right? Because they can't hear it from me. Wow. So I think it's really important and I think it's important for young women to bounce up against a strong male figure, so that she can find her own femininity, so that she doesn't have to default to masculinity to survive.
Speak about defaulting.
And that's what often happens in positive homes.
Speak about defaulting to masculinity to survive.
Well,
what does that look like?
Yeah, if a young girl grows up thinking that she's got to push and effort and really behave like a man to get over, to get by, to survive, then that gets sort of hard-coded into the way that she operates, and it's exhausting. No woman is meant to operate like a man against her nature. But if she doesn't have the polarity of both a man and a woman in her life to model that, then what happens is the mama ends up working too hard and goes into a masculine posture to get things done, and the young woman ends up emulating the mama.
Oof,
so
this is big.
Women often end up in a masculine posture as a function of survival.
Wow.
And that just leads to masculine girls.
Wow. The Big Black Beard on Twitter, MJ Young One, says, "My mama chose Jesus over all of us. That's why I sought the truth. Now I thank her for putting me on my path away from the bull." Ugh. That was Twitter, who just smacked us all in the dome piece. The Big Black Beard also says television becomes the toxic parent when we allow the court system to oust our fathers from the home. Yikes. Ugh. Is television the most toxic parent of all? Marquita from Denver, you're on the line. Holla.
Hi. Love your show, though. Thank you.
How are you? How are you enjoying the show so far?
It is wonderful, and this is part 2, and I listened to the first one, and it's so awesome that you're covering this because, I'm such a victim of toxic parenting. And I say that because my mom was my number one hater from, birth. She was the one that just never, ever appreciated anything about me, but I overcame everything that she tried to throw at me.
Wow. Give me an example. Give me an example, Marquita, of your mother hating on you. That was a big statement. That blew us all away. Go deeper into that.
So at 7, she told me to my face, "I will never bring any man around you because I know they will always want you before they want me."
At 7 years old? You were 7?
I was 7 years old, and I remember it like it was yesterday because for me, I was like, well, I didn't have to be here. What do you mean? And it's always boiled down to a light skin, dark skin. I'm from a mixed background, a mixed biracial background, and I'm a product of where she was getting back at her boyfriend by sleeping with his brother because her dude slept with her best friend.
Ooh,
and so, yeah, like, so from jump, like, this has been, like, are you crazy?
Wow.
And she's never relented, even to this day. Like, we are separated, like, we're estranged, essentially, because it took me literally until a couple of years ago to be like, you're never going to change.
Wow.
You're just going to always, any decision I make, anything I do in my life, it's never going to be good enough because you've never liked me.
That is crazy. That's crazy. You're definitely good enough. I can tell you that. That actually made me come. You said you're biracial. So am I. My mother is African American. My dad is white. So I brought up a story. I was 22 years old in college. Really didn't know what I wanted to be in school. Never grew up with my mom, and I really wanted to impress her. I'm a tomboy, like Veronica was saying. I think because I grew up with my father and my stepmother, who is not as girly. I'm super like me, man, take on the world. So my super beautiful, gorgeous, chocolate skinned mother came to visit me, and I'm a 22-year-old. She's always bragging about what her boyfriend's kids are doing and this, that, and the other. I got, I took my Jordan shorts off for a minute just to get dressed up nice and fix my hair, and I actually put makeup on to impress my mom in front of her new, these people that she kept bragging about. And the first thing she said to me was, "You're conceited. You need to stop acting." I was like, whoa, I dressed up for you to make you look better, so you could brag about your college kid. And she literally just like shit on me. I was like, okay. It was great. That reminded me of the same.
So listen, really quickly.
Yeah.
Victor Emerson at Victor_Emerson on Twitter says, mom-daughter jealousy / toxicity is real. People are scared to talk about it because then they would have to admit who won or lost. Like, did the daughter lose to the mom or did the mom lose to the daughter? And whoever lost, that is a point that is sore moving forward in that relationship. Toxicity in our families is real. Is that not the truth? How do we heal this?
Real.
Ashanti, you had a question for the young lady, right?
I have a question for the caller. So what is your relationship with your mother now like? Do you have one with her?
We are completely estranged. No, and it only took me, like I said, in this last couple of years to really distance myself from it because I'm the type of person where I'm building myself up. And she told me at one point too, I was trying to encourage her to read and get these books because a therapist that gave me a book when I was in therapy, she's again trying to get over these things, called it A Resilient Adult. I don't recall the author, but I read it and it was just whatever's been thrown at you, Marquita, she told me you've overcome it. You're that person. Wow. And I'm trying to encourage her to go and do the same. And then she literally told me I don't read. I will never read. I'm not a reader. And I just was flabbergasted almost because I'm are you serious? How can you ever grow? Because knowledge is power. Why would you just shut such a great suggestion down? And
so was it at that point that you decided that the relationship was too toxic for you? Was that point for you?
Yeah. Yeah, it's way too toxic for me to ever get better and try to love her at the same time. Because I love her unconditionally, I really do. But I don't think she knows what that looks like in return.
But let me play devil's advocate. First off, let me just say this, Marquita. I deeply appreciate you for reaching out and representing Denver. If you want to represent your city, call us right now, 844-1. 844-55-1. Please forgive me. 844-55-1. We really appreciate the call. Call us anytime. Call us right now and represent your city. 844-55-1. Twitter is on fire yet again. The Adjuster at The Adjuster 7 says mothers compete with their daughters. Sons compete with their fathers. Is this really a sick dynamic? I think for men, we like it when our sons compete with us a little bit. because we're hoping that they best us. Like if you're a good man, you want to see your son do better than you, right? You want to see him raise the bar. Like there's nothing more satisfying to a man. But how do we cross the line in trying to make him better than us into a space of toxicity? Or how do mothers cross the line in doing that? Veronica?
I think it depends on who you're parenting for.
Ooh.
If, so many of us, when we go through trauma in our lives, and what happens is that we fundamentally go into shock. Just like the previous caller, like when she had that experience with her mother, I bet that was a really intense emotional event. Sometimes our own development gets stopped in its tracks at moments of intense trauma and intense shock. Our development goes into shock and it halts. And so then if we turn around and try to parent and we haven't grown up ourselves, then we aren't parenting for the child. We're parenting to satisfy our own egoic needs. So the parenting is about us. What they do is about us. How it reflects on us. Are they competing with us? If you're parenting for your child, then no matter what your circumstances are, you're setting up a foundation so that they can fly.
Wow. Most parents don't parent from that paradigm. Most parents, under the excuse or the guise of, I'm doing this for you, I'm trying to make you better, right? Under that guise, parents can become exceedingly abusive and hurtful and toxic, right? Do you set high expectations for your children because you are unhappy with how your life turned out? Right? You made bad decisions. So as a coping mechanism, you're now coping or parenting from a space of fear because you're afraid they may walk the walk you walked. Isn't that a form of toxicity? 844-55-1. This is crazy right now. Is it me or is this show nuts right now? Is it me?
It's pretty crazy.
It's pretty bananas. But this is the kind of experience we're dealing with right now. Mike from DC, you're on the line. Holla at me, man.
Hey, what's up, Zoe?
What's up, bro?
Man, I'm just trying to be like you, man. Hey, what's up, lady?
Hello, Mike. What's poppin'?
Don't be like me. All bad.
You know how I do, Zoe. I kind of I'm going to go off, but I'm going to stay on topic a little bit. I just think it's a schizophrenia with black folks in this generation, because now we give people who haven't achieved nothing a higher standard. Like a woman with kids will make fun of a woman with no kids. It's funny. So I look at it like that. When I see like a lot of I'm gonna say a lot of black women, they don't really buy into the future of their kids. I just think a lot of women that's hurt and needy, and they have kids as coping mechanisms. It's like they don't want to face the abject poverty and mediocre of their lives, so their child is going to be the biggest scapegoat to blame their misery on. Is that a fair point? I just think that's what I see. So. What do you say about that, Zoe?
That was heavy, brother. I don't have nothing else to say about it because you done said it.
You know what's crazy, too?
Jeez. Go ahead, Whitney.
What I observed in a few families that I've been around, it's a group of 4 women, including the mother, but 1 son, and he was really, really, really good at football, so I think they all kind of banked. Even the mom just sat back and didn't do anything because she's like, well, my biracial son is gonna put us all on his back and like it's a meal ticket. And now that he got hurt and didn't go to the league, the mom is like literally screwing up all of the other, like her son now started his own family and needs to provide for them, but the mom won't let it happen because you know what, you were my kid and you were supposed to take care of me when I'm 50.
Right.
It's crazy.
Hey, that's great.
So, you know what's big? Yeah, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
I'm going to let y'all go. I'm saying, like, I just think, do you agree with this, though? Do you think a lot of moms or black women have lost the art of modeling a good mom? Because sometimes women today think just because they have a baby, they think that makes them a good mom automatically. I just think you have to kind of like be raised by a good mother or model a good parent or practice it from a good mom to be a good mom. You can't just have a baby and become a good mother.
Yeah, you make a great point. You can't model a ghost. You have to model an example, right? And whatever is in front of you imprints on you. Especially when you're a child, you're impressionable. That's why you get imprinted on. So sometimes you're imprinted on by a good person. Sometimes you're imprinted on by a good lesson. Did you hear that?
I heard it.
Did y'all hear that?
I heard it.
844-55-1. That's what we do over here. We're about to take another quick break. When I come back, though, we're going to holler at Joseph and others. Joseph is calling out of Detroit. We're going to get at him. But before I leave, Sinister Mephisto says, fathers may want their sons to best them, but only in their chosen way. Yep. My dad was a biochemist, so that meant the arts were forbidden. 844-55-radio. If you squash down what your children actually want to do in favor of what you want them to do, are you a toxic manufacturer?
Ooh,
we'll be back in 2.2.
Let's go.
Toxic parents. Are toxic parents the creators of their children's toxic relationships? 844-55-1. That is the number to dial. You're listening to the Voice of Reason on Hot Button Radio. The Voice of Reason is simply a relationship help desk. I am a relationship hacker. I know you've got some outdated software running on your super computer brain, but I'm here to hack the software and upgrade that shit you got running on your mind from your parents, okay? This is what we're doing here. 844-55-1-radio. Listen, again, Twitter is crazy right now. Single mothers, right? Some single mothers raise their children through the bitterness of past relationships. Says at one mad investor. That's Sherman Lowry. Sinister Mephisto is chiming in, as well as the big black beard. He says the big black beard says, I thought this was what aborting your kids was supposed to prevent. It seems like parents are forced into their roles.
Wow.
Wouldn't that have to deal with, some type of personal responsibility in terms of sexual reproduction? And shouldn't sexual reproduction be some type of curriculum that's taught in the inner city, as opposed to going through with having children that you don't really want, that actually put you back in touch with all of the flaws in yourself?
Early on.
844-55-1. That's the number to dial. We've got Joseph from Detroit on the line. Number 5, line 5. Joseph, what type of toxicity are you experiencing or have experienced, bro?
I've experienced a bit of toxicity in as far as my parents go, because I grew up in a single-parent household, and I'm experiencing toxicity with my 1-year-old and 2-year-old by the same woman. And, it seems to be a growing thing in the community, and as you say, it seems to be something that's etched in our DNA. It seems to be a generational curse. And I'm really hoping to break that cycle, but even like, okay, I don't like to use this term, but even my baby mama, she's a lousy bitch.
Ooh,
get him.
My goodness. So it was so nice you did it twice.
That's
Nicole's
Neecole.
here, guys.
Neecole has finally showed up. Finish your thought, Joseph.
It's not blind of color. You know what I mean? And I'm a Corey Hogan fan to the fullest, and I love Bobby Glantine and you too, Zoe. And you're going to hear it all from me. But my whole thing is I'm a loving guy. I know how to raise kids. I'm a better mom than my children's mother is. And my whole thing is you get a lot of guys out here that got to go through the system. I'm a small business owner. I do towing and landscaping.
Hey.
I get out of work every day doing something to make my life better. This woman wants to listen to her sister and party and do bisexual things, and I really don't want my children raised around that type of environment. The environment that she's in is so toxic. It's to the point to where you know, any child that you bring up in an environment like that, you can't expect any positive productivity from that child.
Can I ask a question?
If the child is brought up to party and get drunk and fight and live on Section 8, and if the child is brought up in an environment, especially where it's fuck dad.
So Joseph, really quickly, Ashanti has a question, but before I throw it to Ashanti, just know you chose her.
I really wanted you.
Ashanti?
Real quick, did you say that you two grew up in a toxic situation? Your mother was toxic?
My mother was toxic as far as using my dad as almost a punishment. It's like when she used to get really mad at me and my brother, it wasn't like, I'm going to punish you. It's like, okay, if y'all keep fucking up, I'm going to send y'all to live with y'all dad. And that was, for years, I used to kind of think of that from both angles, like, what the fuck does she mean?
Ooh, I see what you're saying, Joseph. Hey, Joseph.
I grew
Joseph.
up seeing my dad beat and rape my mom. Go ahead.
Ooh, Joseph, I see what you're saying. If you do right by me, you get to stay in paradise with mom. But if you fuck up, you gotta go to Furious Styles. Damn.
But you know what, though, Joseph? I see what you're saying, but why are you playing? You did the same exact thing with a woman for 2, and then you complain about her sexuality and her financial status when you knew both of those things going in. You know who you came to the party with is what I'm saying.
One of the things about me is I tried to better her as a person, and I also told her after she had the child and went out to stay with the child and begged me for a place to stay,
that you would make another baby with her?
Life, which I wanted to be in the child's life. I told her she wanted to be with me, go to college. So I tried to make the situation better and make the situation something to where she's going to grow and be able to work and prosper and do what she wants to do. I'm a full-time college student right now. And my whole thing is, hey, we can go to school Monday through Wednesday can be your full-time schedule. Wednesday through Saturday can be, or Thursday through Saturday can be my full-time schedule. And that's what I was doing.
And I understand that, but you know what? You know what, Joseph? I just want to tell you something. It sounds great what you're doing now, but you know, we don't walk backwards in life. And so for you to backpedal on the process, because this is a process, meeting someone, getting to know them, having 1 to 2 children with them, knowing what they like sexually and what you want to do with them and where you want to go with them. And you just did it all backwards. And so now you're stuck to realize the term, it is what it is.
And Joseph, I'm going to say this on behalf of Neecole, her insensitive ass.
I miss Neecole. I didn't even know I missed it.
I'm going to say she's not going to tell you this. She's offering you this because it doesn't, just because she said it with conviction doesn't mean it's true.
But it's factual because he's actually stating the facts of his situation.
On Neecole.
And I merely summarized it. So this is my advice to you. Don't do baby number 3.
Ooh, that's good shit. On Twitter. Hey, thanks for the call, Joseph. We appreciate it. Call us anytime, brother.
All right,
we love it, man. We love it.
You my nigga, man. I love you, Corey and Bobby. Y'all the shit.
Word up.
All the motherfuckers that don't like you, they some pussy motherfuckers.
I agree with that. That's my nigga right there. That's my nigga. I appreciate it.
It's nothing. It's nothing.
And listen.
We need some Kool-Aid up in here.
Hey, listen. The reason why our callers is really like hype right now on this word nigga is because for the past 2 weeks on another show that I do, we've done a show that breaks down the etymology of the word and how we've all been duped.
I don't particularly care for it. I don't really try to give it life, but I don't care for it.
Okay, you don't know the history.
I just got into it.
We're just talking about.
Wait, you guys keep saying negus. What are they? Please, I don't know what the
That's
hell.
where the word comes from.
That's what I was going to say. He kept saying, I'm like, is he saying it wrong?
No, negus. That's where the word comes from.
It's nigga.
It's nigga too, though.
I know.
In all of the languages of Africa, it's nigga. And it means king. It means God. You know, there's a country called Niger. There's a country called Nigeria. Niger is king. Nigeria is feminine for queen. So it has to do with royalty and it has to do with divinity. But what they've done, and I would say racism is so fucking slick. I'm gonna take the name that empowers you from the inside out and make it evil.
And then tell all those niggas that tipping is not a place in China.
And scene for the bootleg joke that didn't work. And now, and back. back to the topic, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
we're back.
And we're back from Bizarro World. Veronica and Dan, I want y'all to stay close to us on this. We still got callers, but I want to check in with you guys. Are you hearing the stories that are coming from the phone lines right now? And can you envision, just based off of the small sample of calls that we've gotten to this point, what's really happening in the parenting world of our community? Can you speak on the state of dual parenting, single parenting, motherhood, fatherhood in the African American community? Dan?
Well, I can tell you, your show is blowing me away.
Oh,
I'm
thank you, brother.
absolutely like, just wow. I mean, the stuff that's going on in our community and the things that are happening, I mean, you cannot tell me this doesn't affect these kids in a negative way. And I mean, toxic. Now I'm really getting a better handle on, as a college planner, I work with families all the time. And, and my goal is to get these families a lot of money for their kids to go to college. But sometimes I hear comments just listening to the families about how they may want their kid to go to college, but you hear a single mom, there's another kid over there. Well, that one ain't going to college because that one ain't shit, basically is what they're saying. And this one over here, yeah, he's going to be all right. But it's just, this is now coming full circle for me and seeing how, what's going on in our community and seeing why we're not going, instead of going to college, a lot of us are going to prison.
No, man.
And this is just, it is what it, like she said, it is what it is. And it's a sad thing to say, but I mean, this is what's going on. And now it's kind of making a lot of sense for me.
And Dan, can we talk about parental laziness as a form or source of toxicity? Because you can't expect your kid to be upwardly mobile, active, out there doing it
And raised by television.
when you lazy, right? So you get mad at him for being lazy, but you lazy. His source of laziness comes from modeling you, right?
Right.
Come on, man. This is what I'm saying. I know parents who have given up on their kids because they simply just don't want to do the due diligence or the work required to get that kid over the hump.
Yep.
Right? Oh, this is too much. Listen, my mother did this to me. When I was in high school, like my son he's like a continuation. He's doing shit that I never did because my mother didn't want to participate. She was tired. I was child number 6. In the new book, you guys, in my new relationship book, it's crazy.
Hella kids.
She has 6 children by the age of 27.
What?
Ooh,
Wow.
Right?
That's a lot of kids.
So I was child number 6. By the time I get to high school, I'm a ball player. I'm like hella talented, right? Crazy talented as a ball player. Do you know my mother told me, and this was the crazy thing. There was a specific school that I wanted to go to in Pasadena, and they wanted me to go there. I didn't want to go to the school that our district put us in. I just didn't like it. I didn't have no friends there. I didn't know anybody. You know, my mother said, "I'm just tired. I don't want to go to the school board and get you into this school."
Because it was a
you know what that
process.
did? And you know what that did?
What?
That disconnected me
Yeah.
from the school. So I wound up being
your
forced
mother.
to go. No, I wasn't disconnected from her, but I saw her as quitting on me.
That's a disconnect.
And in a way, but see, let me tell you something about the universe. It's going to smack you in the mouth with shit you don't want, but it's also going to smack you in the mouth with shit you didn't know you wanted. Right? So it matured me to her issues. It made me aware of like, ooh, you're incapable.
Ooh, never.
And what that did was I didn't pity her, but I shifted my expectation of her.
Yes.
And that in itself is a mature move. What I could have done was do what most people do and keep my expectations of her the same and keep being disappointed and keep building resentment Do you see what I'm saying?
Or if it really matured you could have went and got your paperwork taken care of on your mature self. You know what I mean? And like got it moving on your own. I mean, you know, like.
But that was power.
That's crazy. I have a little mini story that kind of helps make me get here to you guys.
Mini.
I'm trying to do mini. All right. I went to college. I was always into the art stuff. I wanted to be a hairdresser. My parents basically pushed me into nursing school. So I was like, okay, let me be a good kid and listen to them. Went to school for 2 years. My mom finally came to me and was like, kid, you don't have to if you don't want to go to school, don't go to school. Don't do it for us, because I did it. My mom told me this. I went to school for my parents, and now I am in a job that pays me well, but I can't stand it, and I really wanted to be a writer. So that's the moment I dropped. I was like, peace, I'm out. Community college has been real. Bye.
Your mom gave you
Bye,
a way
Felicia.
out.
She gave me like the hood pass. Like, it's all good. Don't do it for us. And boom, now I'm here on the radio with y'all and shit, doing that art stuff.
Listen, really quickly, at OJ Olivia Justice on Twitter, she says, you cannot build a home with termite-infested wood. Broken homes yield broken children.
Damn.
844-55-1.
You know what? I want to say, I'm not really into giving a lot of passes. So
that's because your ass is inflexible. Now go ahead.
That's not even true. I'm extremely flexible. You know, the thing about it is what he was saying earlier in regards to college and more people going to college as opposed to prison. It's like that'd be great if that's what a child wanted. But the first thing that they need to acquire is some common sense.
Man,
and that's to get to anywhere decent.
My man Victor Emerson on Twitter says, even though Precious is a horror movie, it is definitely a documentary of tonight's topic. Right? And a lot of people are living this horror film. Veronica, speak to it. And then after Veronica, ladies and gentlemen, legendary psychic celebrity medium Hecka Activated is on the line, and she's going to chime in with some of the realest shit you've ever heard about the topic. And that's real. Veronica, speak to me.
I just think, one of the things that they're finding out about intergenerational, I've known this for a long time, but science is finally catching up to the fact that trauma does get handed down in the DNA. It literally, for all the trauma that we experienced in chattel slavery, all the trauma that we experienced in Jim Crow, all the trauma that we experienced in the Civil Rights Movement, that gets handed down as cellular memory, right? And so we've been driven insane by the dominant culture. We just have. We've been driven insane globally by the dominant culture. And so it breaks my heart, but it's not surprising, because you can't have a people that's been subject to institutionalized terrorism for 400 years in this country and not expect to get some really traumatized people that don't know were never parented themselves, and so therefore don't know how to parent the next generation.
Wow, that's big. Hecka Activated, please chime in on toxic parenting. Do you have examples? Do you know people who were raised in a toxic environment? Were you raised in a toxic environment? Please talk to us about your experience on tonight's topic.
Well, I would. Hi, everybody.
Hey, Hecka. What's up, Hecka?
Hi. I would like to say that I was raised in a toxic environment. Perhaps my family would probably disagree, because they feel as if they did the best that they could. They did what they knew how to do. But it is my firm knowing within that our souls actually choose our family and our karmic inheritance, so that we could inherit both the gifts and the challenges needed for our highest soul growth. Okay? So mothers and daughters, in my opinion, that have extreme situations in their relationships in this lifetime, they do so because they have danced with one another in a past lifetime. And in a lot of cases, the mother in this lifetime was a child or the daughter in the previous lifetime that was, neglected or whatever the case may be.
I love her.
And now that soul has reincarnated as the mother and has accepted and approved the role, so to speak, of showing that soul from the previous lifetime what it's like are the experiences of being a neglectful mother.
Wow, this is big. So you telling me, so you telling me, let me understand this. You telling me that a mother-child relationship in a past life, say that mother beat the shit out of that child and abused that child. In a future life, the child may come back as the parent's mother and reteach that lesson to that parent. Ugh,
Absolutely,
that's
because
some
the parent
shit
has
right there.
required that for the soul's evolution.
You know what,
Wow,
when
that's-
you hop on the line, I love it because, you know, I have a few great experiences. And one of the best things my mother ever said to me was, as I was becoming an adult, she said, when you were a child, I used to look at you and want to be like you when I grew up because you were always fearless.
Wow. Listen, we
That's
got to
dope.
take a quick break, man. This shit is fire. Sinister Mephisto is coming at Hecka activated. Now, let me just say, Sinister, when you come at Hecka, you come at all of us. It's a gang over here.
You right about that?
She don't really need our support because she will get up in your ass and take a nap. He says Hecka is with that bullshit. We about to take a quick break, but we'll be back at 2.2. The voice of reason is on fire. Get to your phone lines, 844-55-1. This is how we do. We got more callers on the line. We're going to come to y'all after the break. Wow. Show is on fire right now. This is the voice of reason. This is what we do. Hot Button Radio. It's an incredible talk network that has the illest topics anywhere. Nobody's talking about what we're talking about. Everybody else is duplicating, biting. But you know, hey, you know what I'm saying? Imitation is the highest form of flattery. So I appreciate it. Let me ask you this question. Tonight's topic, we're talking about toxic parenting. Is there a way a parent can use lies and shame on their children without leaving a toxic imprint? Manipulation, manipulating them to do shit, shaming them into doing things, lying to them to get them to change their behavior. Is there a way to do that without leaving a toxic imprint? 844-55-1. Listen, the phone calls is crazy right now. We got to get to them. I want to go to Cal from Dallas. Line 4, you're in the building. Welcome to the Voice of Reason. Holler at me, bro.
Hey, how you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. What's happening?
I wanted to kind of add to the conversation by telling my story a bit. Of course, the answer is yes. You know, parents do pass down the toxicity that they have within them, and I'm experiencing like your previous caller. I'm experiencing some issues as well with my child's mother, and I can see it. Not saying that I'm perfect, but in her dynamic, and I can say I've learned so much about relationships from listening to you all on 5150 and so what. There's so much that I wish I had known before I started dating this girl. So
Wow.
I didn't find. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I didn't find out about you all until 2011, and it was 2 years too late. If that makes any sense.
Damn.
But so one thing that I've learned from you all is you have to know the people. And you have to know that situation and that dynamic when you're dating someone. You have to know their parents. And what I came to find out was that she didn't know her dad. She had only met her dad once in her life. And mom ran her dad off. So to me, I didn't know that was something that, I need to be paying attention to. I just thought she was a person. She comes from a messed up situation. We get involved. We have a kid, and of course, when they have your kids, they think like y'all say, they have access to your bank account. So then they think they control you. No one's gonna control me. So because she couldn't control me, she then pulled the same move that her mom pull with her, or like with her father. She attempted to. She tried to run me off. Fortunately for me, like, I'm very socially aware and understand the presence of the father figure, and so I wasn't going to be ran off. Well, trying to run me off and not letting me see my son, we have to get the lawyers involved. We got to get the courts involved. Well, the courts basically take all my money just so I can have a weekend schedule.
Wow.
But she did all of this because this is what had been shown to her. Because she didn't understand the presence of a male figure, or the value of the presence of a male figure.
Let me just say this really quickly to you, Cal. The fact that you called, the fact that you hung on, and the fact that you shared your story, I'm telling you, I promise you, you've affected the lives of somebody out there who hears that story and has the same story. So I just want to extend appreciation to you for reaching out, and not only reaching out, but hanging in there, because you've been on the line since the beginning of the show, and I appreciate that, brother. All right?
Hey,
thanks, man.
I appreciate that.
All right, man.
You all sharing your stories, you all affect our lives too. So you guys keep doing what you're doing.
All right. Thank you, brother.
Yes.
I appreciate it. Dan, I know you're on the line right now. This is what I need to ask you. If there's a lazy ass parent out there who's used to not doing shit, who's used to blaming their kids, for being a reflection of them, right? How you going to blame your kid for being a reflection of your toxicity? That's 844-55-1. Dan, I'm going to need you to explain 3 or 4 of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to get their kids college paid for. You're the master of getting kids to college. You're the master of getting it paid for. What are the 3 mistakes? The 3 biggest mistakes that these lazy fuckers, right, put on their children, man. Speak to me about that.
Hey, you know what, Zoe? You just said it. Being lazy. You know how much money is out there for college? There are billions of dollars of free money. But if you're lazy, you're not going to get any of it. First of all, I know for a fact that I've seen parents that have the profile that you're talking about, that have their kids are eligible. They're eligible to actually get access to it, and they don't even want to fill out a few forms. And I'm like, wait a minute. You're talking about the cost, especially families that don't make a lot of money. If y'all listeners don't know this, most of your kids can go to college practically for free. But you have to start early, and you start preparing them. You don't wait till the 12th grade and say, okay, all right, you want to go to college? No. What you need to do is you need to start them on the path. And if you're lazy, that ain't going to help you, because you need to get your butt out your chair, out your seat, and you need to go with this kid, start attending college fairs, start getting involved with all the different things and different events that revolve around college, and get college on their mind. Now, Zoe, you know what the problem is?
What is it?
A lot of these people, talking about, here we go with toxic parenting, in our community, figured that they couldn't go to college, so why does that mean your ass is going to have an opportunity to go to college?
Right, your ass don't deserve to be better than me. I'm not going to help you get there.
I see it. I see it. But what they just don't know is you got to give your kid a chance. These kids, once they get it, these kids, a lot of these kids are bright, and look, all they want is a chance. And what I tell families all the time, look, start the process early. Start looking around. Start them as early as the 9th grade. Did you know there are scholarships that a kid can get starting in the 9th grade?
I didn't know that.
Most families don't know that. They're like, oh, we'll wait till the 12th grade. No. What happens is you apply to a private scholarship. Those private scholarships, they can bank that scholarship money for you.
Really?
So what that means is when you're ready to go to college, guess what? The money is sitting there.
Wow.
What?
Now, not that outside scholarships is where the money is. Now, I got a database of $2 billion worth of outside scholarships. The different organizations put out there different websites that, promote that. But if you're lazy, you're not going to get it.
But Dan,
you have to treat it like a job.
But Dan,
let me give you an example.
But Dan, listen to me.
Family
Dan,
who has a kid that wants to go to college.
Dan got me on speakerphone.
To about 7 scholarships.
Dan got me on speakerphone right now. Dan, listen to me really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I brought you on this show because you have a service. I want you to give my listeners the contact information on how they can connect to you and get your service. Everybody who knows Zoe Williams, he likes to provide resources and tools for folk. Dan is a resource. Dan, how do they connect to you to get this valuable information? And is it complicated to execute?
No, it's not. And what I've done specifically for your audience is I have a parent. It's the first interactive parent-family resource that parents will be able to know all of my knowledge, which is 10 years in this industry. And I teach them everything that they need to know step by step to get money for their kids to go to college.
Wow.
And that website is GET More Money for College, FOR, college, COLLEGE.com/ZO.
Oh, shit.
I have the ZO on there is because I prepared a special report for your listeners that is going to give you a ton of information. I've also prepared a free pass to listen to our first workshop, which is workshop number 1. We have a total of 12 workshops. Every workshop covers a whole different aspect of this process. And I tell you, if you pay attention to this, you go in, you decide you want to join our membership, I'll tell you, you will have your kid in college before you know it. And you're going to be they're going to be calling you, Zoe, and saying, hey, man, that guy knew what he was talking about.
Hey, please say the website one more time, brother. Mm-hmm. Please give that website out again.
GET, getmoremoneyforcollege.com.
Now,
/ZO, Z-O.
Now, let me do this real quick.
Getmoremoneyforcollege.com /ZO.
There we go. Get more money from college, for college.
No, for college.
For college.
Get more money for college.
/. Right. .com.
/ZO.
There we go. And just to show you that I ain't about no bullshit, Veronica Conway used this brother. Now, Veronica done told you she done got millions of dollars for her kids to go to school, and we mean them uppity schools. The schools that got lotion on the toilet paper in the bathroom.
What?
Right? Got hand wipes and shit in there. We talking about the foo-foo schools, right?
Man.
Right? Now, Veronica used this brother to get her son's college taken care of. Wow. Veronica, speak on that.
Mm. Well, actually, because my son, we're working on my son because my son is a bit of a project.
Are you beating him?
My daughter, I met Dan. Well, I met Dan. We had done a lot of stuff. Well, we built a website, jordan-conway.com. We've gotten $750,000, but I was kind of winging it. You got to understand, I didn't really know what I was doing when I was laying down that lane for my kids. Dan is really the man who he understands and validates and backs up the technology of it, because applying to college is this whole process is a technology. It's a process. It's a way of thinking. It's a way of approaching things. It's a system. But if you understand the rules of the game, which Dan does, Dan's people have they study the financial aid code as this is like CPA study the tax code.
Wow.
They just know everything. They know every angle. They know every nook and cranny. They know everything about it. And so I go to Dan when I'm panicked or tired, or he meets with my kids and talks some sense into them. And he's just he's really down for our people. Understand that.
Wow.
Listen, white folks and Asian folks are doing this, y'all. They're all rushing to beat Dan's door down.
Dan.
I saw a
That's
tweet
true.
that says, college isn't the ultimate answer, and it's not.
Veronica.
If your kid
Veronica.
doesn't have anything better to do,
Veronica.
you may as well do this. Yeah.
Veronica, you've praised him enough. Jesus.
Thank you, Dan, for this service.
How high
man.
are you going to raise him?
I wish
Jesus.
I knew Dan back in the day.
Hey, but Dan, really quickly, shoot out that website one more time.
Okay, it's get GET more MORE money for college FORCOLLEGE.com/Zoe. And if someone has a direct question, they can reach me at Dan DAN at collegemoneypros.com.
Man, this is beautiful. Look, I'm going to go to Hecka real quick. But before I do, I want to address something that was just spoken on Twitter. A brother by the name of @balance_585. He's up here as king. He says, why push our people to college instead of pushing them to skilled trades? And I'm going to tell you, my uncle, right? My uncle is an engineer. When he was 19, he was at UCLA. He met Malcolm X there. He met Martin Luther King there. I mean, my uncle tells me straight up the real. College ain't for education. College is for networking. College is for connectivity. College is for relationships.
Yeah.
That's what it's really for.
Right.
Now, I'm going to put it in a whole nother light. The college you go to is like a brand. It is a brand.
Absolutely.
And the way these employers look at it, right? When I see a fucking degree from Harvard, I'm going to look at that degree differently than I see one from San Jose State. Right?
Shout out
I don't
to
know.
Sam.
I'm going to see that differently.
Shout out.
Right?
No shade.
The Harvard
No
brand,
tea.
the Harvard brand looks like Jordans. The San Jose State, and I'm not, no disrespect to San Jose State.
No, hold on one second, because
I'm just telling you.
Just
Listen.
on a personal experience, my brother has a degree from Harvard, and I have a degree from Cal State Northridge, and I graduated magna cum laude.
And I went to San Jose State.
And I went to Northridge.
You went to San Jose State?
That was the boarding school.
Stand up.
I started at Northridge when I was
Okay,
16
but hear
because
my
they have the
point.
highest African American
Hear my
population.
point. I need you to hear my point. As a matter of fact, engineer, your job is to cut all of their motherfucking mics.
Don't
Now,
do it.
Cut them off. All of them.
Zoe,
Except
I
for
want to
mine.
address that brother
Jesus.
real quick as well.
No, but
if I can.
but what I want to here's the thing. In America is controlled by stereotypes. Sometimes a college degree, you don't even have to be the smartest motherfucker in the world, but if you have a college degree, they take you differently. They take you in. It's like you got the passport. To me, your degree is a passport. It lets you into the club. Now, depending on the relationships you build, how high you get in the club, that's totally based off of your work ethic. Speak on it, Dan.
No, just real quick. In a way, I sort of agree with the brother, but that's why in my world, that's why we have assessment tests. If we give somebody an assessment test and it's pointing towards a technical trade or, trade school or something like that, then we go that direction. But to get back to your point, if they don't, test out in that area, a college degree is, you have to look at it like this. It's a ticket to the game.
That's it.
Okay?
You in the stadium.
You got to have the ticket to get in just to play the game.
Yep.
So it's a civil servant job.
Once you have that ticket and you can start playing that game, hey man, the world opens up to you.
The world is yours. Hecka activated.
If you get it for free, why not?
Wait, Hecka, I need to hear from you.
Yes.
For me, I'm just saying I want my kid under the radar. I'm raising a little Malcolm. I'm raising two of them. Two little Malcolms, right? One might be Che Guevara, but I'm raising some revolutionaries. Stand up. Intelligence is standing up for what you believe is right, not sitting down acquiescing, right? But before you can, and I tell my son, before you can kick up dust, you gotta first get a platform, right? When you get the platform, that's when you stand up. And here's the thing. just like in the book, The 48 Laws of Power, you got to make yourself indisposable. This motherfucker is so integrated and useful to what we do. If he stands up and rebels, if we fucking break him down, we got to take the whole shit apart.
You better start dismantling some shit.
That's what I'm on right now. Hecka, talk to me about how you getting your daughter prepared for college. Speak on it.
Well, I think college is not for everyone, first and foremost. It's not. I think the most important thing for us as parents is to actually learn about our children, the way they're wired, the energy that they entered into this realm with, the blueprint that they came here with. Learn about that blueprint and then help to guide them down the path according to that blueprint. If, in fact, they're not designed for a university, then we wouldn't want to be wasting anybody's money, grant money or our own money, on trying to send them to a university. We could look at a child's astrological chart and determine whether or not that child is fit for college. We don't even have to do assessment tests or anything. We can look at their astrological chart and determine whether or not this child is going to go to college. Is this the blueprint that they actually entered into this room with?
Wow, that's a good point.
As far as my daughter is concerned, of course, I homeschooled my daughter for a while, and my daughter is 16 now. She's graduating in May, and she was accepted to the university, okay? Well, one of the things about my daughter is that in the beginning, she was saying that she did not want to go to college. And, hey, I was completely okay with that, although I saw that there were astrological aspects that suggested she could be amazing in college. I was okay with her making the decision that she didn't want to go to college. I wasn't going to pressure her. I didn't want to do that. So I allowed her to make that decision. Well, she decided she wanted to go back to high school. And when she decided she wanted to graduate from a high school or public school, she decided at that point she wanted to attend college. Thumbs up, because I feel as if that's the right direction for it.
Good.
So we have to find out about our children and help guide them down the path versus trying to force them into something that just don't fit for them.
Wow, good stuff, good stuff. Really quickly, at illwill_711, he says, Zoe, isn't that still assimilating into the system? First off, understand the difference between integration and assimilation. When you assimilate into a system, or when a system assimilates you, you don't assimilate into it, it assimilates you. You lose all of your identity. You're gone.
Prison rhetoric.
You're consumed. I don't know what the fuck that meant, but integrate means to participate within a system, yet still maintain your identity, right? So when you're a parent and your philosophy is the genetic code of the child that you're sending to school, and it's stronger than what the school's philosophy is, then he can integrate without losing his core value. He can integrate. Like if you teach your child, you, my son or daughter, are your biggest advocate. You are the author of your living narrative. No one else, not your school, not what you've learned, not what I've taught you. This is why I always tell my son, go out into the world and see if what I said was true. And if it winds up to be incorrect for you, at least you had some ideological training wheels to get you to a certain point and start you in the direction of writing your own narrative. You see? So this is what I'm saying. No, it's not assimilating, especially if you teach them how to be centered in self, the knowledge of self. As long as you got the knowledge of self, you can manifest it the way you see fit in your life. Most people are trying to be in something so they can get the credit via the association with it. Oh, I'm smart because I went to UCLA. No, you got into UCLA and that's great. You might be smart, but you might not have ever had an original thought. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that is the difference between assimilating and integrating. Now, really quickly, we've got callers. I got to get them in. On line 6, DP, Cleveland. You're on the line. Holler at us, voice of reason.
Hey, what's up with you, Zoe, man? Long time since I spoke with you.
Oh man, good to have you, brother. Thanks for reaching out.
Oh yeah, continue to love your show and everything you guys are doing out there. But to get on topic, and I'm from Cleveland. My opinion about the toxic parenting comes from, and I'm sure you can confirm this, generations and generations of toxic parenting.
Wow.
A lot of people don't know, or they just allow their children. I mean, like you just said, you can go to college, but you could possibly not have one lick of common sense. So you can send your child to the best school, but at the same time, and this goes from elementary all the way through high school. You can send your child to the best school that they have, but when that child comes home and you're talking to this child or treating this child a certain way, and this goes for both parents, you're defeating the purpose in a lot of situations. So,
Good point.
I mean, I just think we as a people, and this has no color, but I just think we as a people need to really look in the mirror at ourselves and how we're doing our parenting. So I know you got more callers, bro.
Hey, good point, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. D from Maryland, line 1. You're on the line. Holler at us. Voice of Reason, Hot Button Radio.
Hey, what's up, Zoe? What's up, ladies?
Hey. How you doing?
I just had a quick story. I'm gonna run by quick. I know we went kind of far off the top, but I guess I'm gonna say it anyway. I'm sorry, but I just think with a toxic parent, my experience was when I was growing up. Like my mom always tried to pin me against my dad. You know what I'm saying? Like my mom used to always talk bad about my dad, but my dad never really said anything bad about my mom. So when I got older, I started seeing like, okay, my dad's productive, and my dad still, you know what I'm saying, he's still a good Samaritan. He still does good by people. And when I got older, I was like, damn, like, my mom was really the bitch, and I was kind of like felt manipulated as I was growing up. And I was like, damn, the whole time, all that stuff you said about my dad, and you was the bitch the whole time. And I just like wanted to share that story. I was like, sometimes as a child, man, you have to catch that. You know what I'm saying? Like my dad never said anything bad about my mom, but my mom stayed talking bad about my dad.
Wow. Wow.
Like,
And that's toxicity, man. That is toxicity right there. Man, I appreciate your call. Thank you so much, D from Maryland. We appreciate it. The Voice of Reason on Hot Button Radio -Radio. We got Jay from New York. Jay, you're on the line. Chime in.
It's actually Dre.
Dre. What up, Dre?
Dre. What's going on, Dre from New York? Listen, I had tweeted you a little earlier saying that I had got an incomplete version of both worlds, good and bad, truthfully on Twitter. Anyway, the reason why I said that, it was because, like my father, we had a language barrier because he didn't know English, I didn't know Spanish. But he always would tell me, be a man, be a man. I'm black, be a man, be a man. That was our conversation. And then my mom, she had somewhat the femininity and somewhat the masculinity. And it was always like it's almost as if they had to leave me to decide for myself because I guess I was, quote unquote, advanced for my age. If that makes sense. You know what I mean? So it's almost as if that was toxic in itself because they had faith in me, but they didn't know what to do with me. And that's what I'm realizing now in my 30s. You know what I mean? So, like, leading into the question that I got, it's like this toxicity can just come from, multiple areas. It doesn't always have to be all bad. Sometimes it could just be a false or a naive confidence of the parents raising that child.
Wow. That's a good point, man. I really appreciate you reaching out and calling us. Man, thank you so much. These phone lines have...
to everybody, man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. These phone lines have been incredible, man. Your stories are really changing our lives. Absolutely. I urge you to keep calling in 844-55-1. That's 844-55-1. Whitney?
My Instagram follower, shout out to Just Kells 253. She couldn't get in because there's too many callers, but she tried. She said, nice topic. I think actually she is a non-toxic parent her and her ex-husband have a pretty good co-parenting situation, and she doesn't ask for any child support. I had a question for the listeners and for my panel. Do you think that there would be less toxic parents if we let the court system completely out of it?
Hell yeah. I think
our engineer does disagree.
I think that's what we'll call orphans.
Right.
There's a lot of parents out here running some debauchery that would just not be at home with their kids or raising them.
Let's remember Claudine.
Right.
Okay? And let's remember Claudine, the movie. She wanted a good man, James Earl Jones. But a good man can't be in a black household while she's getting government assistance. Right? It was designed to say he can't be here. Right? Again, to me, that's problematic. There is a systemic attack on black families, to me. Now, you can agree or disagree. I'd love to hear 844-55-1. Go ahead, girl.
Nicole.
I mean, I'm just saying.
First off, you can't respond until you untwist your mouth.
Because the whole auspice of the system and what we're not getting from the system is just terrible as far as I'm concerned. It's like the accountability is at an all-time low
on both ends.
People don't want to raise their kids to not be little pieces of shit, and at the end of the day, they want to live in a place where two individuals don't work and they got to get government assistance. Get the fuck out of here. I don't want to pay for that.
Hey, listen, I don't like your tone or your delivery. As a matter of fact, engineer Cutter Mike. Ashanti Ford, speak on it.
To keep it real, if there was no court order system, I would have never saw my dad.
Ooh, all right.
I would have never seen him.
The court made him?
Oh, no, not just him. It wasn't, he wanted to see me. My mom didn't want him around.
Ooh.
So they had to go to court to figure out the whole custody thing. So if it wasn't for that, I would have never seen my dad. Or my little sister.
Let me tell you something. Mamas have a special evil.
It was a little spiteful.
That's what I'm starting to hear.
Yeah.
Mama's got an evil that it's a bone-chilling, blood-curdling evil. 844-55-1. If your mama was evil to you, somebody call us right now. Whitney?
That kind of actually ties into it. So basically, I was thinking, man, well, let me answer my own question.
Right.
My dad got 3 kids in the custody when my parents divorced, and everybody was like, that's extremely crazy. My mom's not an alcoholic. She's not a drug addict. Like, no, I literally... He just proved to be the better parent. He was just a better parent. So for me, watching now and like seeing the way my dad parents and the way my mom parented my younger 2 siblings, I'm so kind of glad that the courts were like, you know what? You guys probably kick it better with your pops. My daddy is white, though. Did they give it to the white guy? Like, here's your 3
Here, Mr. White Man,
babies?
take
Like,
over your little mocha-colored children.
Like losing Isaiah, I always feel like a little...
I'd rather give my children to a white daddy than a black mama all day long.
He a real nigga, dog. You feel me?
My daddy's a real nigga?
My white daddy's a real nigga. Let's just be 1,000.
844-55-1. That's the number to dial. The voice of reason is on fire right now. Jackie Mack on Twitter says, I am Jackie Mack. Go follow her right now. She says, a lot of parents don't know what to do with their children in today's age, which is a failure in and of itself. 844-55-1. Yo, we've got Lynn from Houston on the line. Line 6. Holla at me, Lynn. This thing is moving quickly right now. Speak to me about it.
Hi. I was just calling regarding talking to Dan.
Oh, you want to speak to Dan? First off, you got to turn your life down, though. Your life is really loud, so turn it down some.
Okay. I'm sorry.
You can't be on the radio and hear yourself at the same time.
Okay, it's my first time. Okay?
Yeah, we got you.
What's up, girl?
Dan, I'm a middle-income African-American single parent, and my question is, I have a daughter that's a very good student, and I'm having such a hard time getting a transfer student, and trying to get her into college. And she has a 3.6 net score from a junior college here, and we're just trying to get some money for her to go to a 4-year college. What is your suggestion for that?
I suggest that you, first of all, take a look at some of the HBCUs, because they have some really good
We've done that
transfer
already.
programs. Did you?
And
You
they
didn't
messed
have
up.
get any money? Did you try Alabama State?
We went, because I'm in Texas, so we're in Houston. And she actually had a full scholarship in a program, and they overpaid her. And she decided not to use that, go into that, in that program. And when we started trying to transfer and try to get other scholarships and everything, we didn't know that we were overpaid. But the HBCU financial system did not work well with us. I'm paying it back. But now we can't get our transfer. She had a 4.0 through that program. And so I just need some suggestions of what I need to do.
Why don't you do this? Why don't you just shoot me an email, dan@collegemoneypros.com, and I'll address that offline. I don't want to lose the momentum here. Because everybody's situation is different. So I can, you just shoot me an email again, dan@collegemoneypros.com. I will get back to you and respond, and we'll have a conversation about that off the air.
And Dan, I think it's really important right now. Thank you, sister, for the call. Lynn from Houston, we appreciate it. Dan, I think you should also give out that link one more time so people can really connect to you from this show. He has a special page set up. Dan, what's the link again?
It is get, G-E-T, more, M-O-R-E, money, for, F-O-R, college.com/ZO. And I have a special report there for your listeners. And I give them, they also have free access to a workshop that's going to go into detail on how this whole process works and what they need to do to access free money for their kids to go to college.
Got it. This is good. This is good.
It's crazy.
Whew, this show, man, is powerful. We got Big O from Brooklyn on the line. Make it quick, Big O, because I got to rap in a second, but holler at us. Big O.
Hello?
Big O.
What up, though?
Where'd you go, Big O? Where'd he go? Dang, man.
It's about to be a rap, Big O.
Big no. That was a big no.
Let him leave.
Is he gone?
I'm goofy
or is he
today.
there?
Big O.
He's gone.
Big O is gone. All right, here we go.
Dang, we tried.
Listen, it's important that I do this. Of course, I have an Indiegogo page that needs hella support. It's called the So What Morning Show Relationship Dismount Book Tour. We're trying to do a book tour that covers 7-8 cities, right? And recently, some small businesses have supported that movement. And if you go to Indiegogo, like I said, it's ZMWS Relationship Dismount Book Tour, right? Indiegogo. Now, this is a business. This sister, she only gave $10, but it don't matter. I'll still support her business.
That's right.
Right? She's got a little SD.com, situation. Her website is www.sd.com/shop/through mahogany eyes. You can also follow her on Facebook, www.facebook.com/through mahogany eyes. She's a photographer. That's her business. She's a photographer. Her name is Mahogany Myers. I'm asking everybody to go out, and if you have any photography needs, please support this sister. Also, there's a sister out of London, England, giving a 30% off sales special, for her clothing line. She's a fashion designer. She designed a jacket that I have that has a beautiful print on it, but the face in the print is Marcus Garvey. It's really awesome. It's dope. Her name is Alicia Mullings. Please support her movement.
Alicia, send it anytime over my way.
That's what's up.
Shorty swing my way.
I got another guy. His name is Richard King. He supported, right? Please shout him out. He's at Hot Cars TV. One word. Hot Cars TV. He's on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Again, these guys are supporting me. I want to support them. There's a brother out of Africa who has a digital company. He donated. Now, he has a lot of information, but I want you to go to millionpixelsforafrica.com. millionpixelsforafrica.com. I'm going to be continuing to support, urban businesses. And I'll support any business that support us. But in particular, black businesses, because we don't recycle black dollars. We are the largest consumers in the world, yet we don't own anything and we don't recycle our dollars. Our dollars define our allegiance to an idea of success that we didn't author. That shit hurt to say, like, ouch. Wow, that's really how we get down. So please support my So What Morning Show, Relationship Roundtable, right? Dismount book tour. My book is called The Relationship Dismount. It is the consummate breakup book. How to stick the landing when leaving a toxic relationship. 12 chapters. At the end of every chapter, there are exercises. There are questions. I mean, this thing is powerful. It's a spiritual book. It's a practical book. It's a cultural book. It's a historical book. I mean, this book has layers. It's damn near part biography. Ugh. Woo. This shit is fire. And I need your support. So What Morning Show, Relationship Dismount Book Tour. Go to Indiegogo right now. Now, with that said, let me give everybody a chance to promote what they're doing, starting with my girl, Hecka Activated.
Boom, 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 boom.
Okay. Thank you, Joe. Of course, I am Hecka Activated, and I am a psychic intuitive medium astrologer. Read the tarot cards as well as the destiny cards. And you can get a personal private session with me by visiting my website at www.heckaactivated.com, or you can reach out to me through Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Hecka Activated.
Wow, we love it.
Thanks, Joe.
And you guys don't know, me and Hecka do a show on Jamie Foxx's Foxhole Network on Wednesday mornings, and she just be killing people with her readings. I mean, just her readings are incredible. Please go to her website. Veronica Conway, holla at me. Where can they find you?
Yes, sir. So people can get a copy of the Black Paper, All Things Black, All Things Your Psychology and Conditioning at www.theblackpaper.com.
Beautiful.
Or you can find me at veronicaconway.com.
Yeah, Veronica's pissing me off right now. She has a product. It's an NLP program that she wrote that Iyanla Van Zant narrates. It is an NLP program that erases Willie Lynch and crabs in the barrel.
Wow.
Like, if you go to blackmastery.com and download this, Jesus Christ, you don't even have to think. You just put fucking headphones on and go to sleep, and you're being programmed with some better shit.
I like that.
How about that? Like, she doesn't even talk about that. Like this shit is an afterthought, like some old batteries in the trunk somewhere. That shit's probably one of the most powerful things I've ever seen in my life. And she's like, wow. Oh, yeah, I did that awesome shit, too. Yeah, blackmastery.com. I mean, Jesus. Whitney Tabor.
What's up, y'all? You guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at MSTABER. You can check out my website, misstabor.com. Hit me on Snapchat, WHITLEI. I'll holla.
Neecole.
You can get at me at Neecole C on Twitter. Neecole Cockerham on
Cockerham.
Facebook. Love it.
Shit sounds like a fucking
Listen, let me tell
Mad Max movie starring Neecole Cockerham.
We've got a great family crest of two dragons looking at each other.
Two dragons.
I love it.
Two dragons.
The Dragon Moor. Exactly.
And
I love it.
the one and only Neecole on Instagram.
And of course, my girl, Ashanti Ford.
How we doing? You can find me on YouTube, Girl on Fire Production. Let's hit that Instagram up at Ashanti Ford. And then, of course, I love my Tweety Birds, Emergency TV.
Hey.
Ashanti's voice, though,
That
I
shit is
can't
delicious
deal.
right
I'm
now.
like, wow. Hey, girl.
It's
like,
like-
damn.
It's like
She just-
warm vaginal ice
I ain't
cream.
even into chips like that, but she might have to.
Done.
Shit.
I'm saying that's what it sounds like. Warm.
What are you doing later tonight, girl? We gonna go out.
Turn up.
Ruh-roh.
Uh-oh. She about to get our mics turned off.
Ew.
Me and Chris are over here having a fucking ball. It's crazy. Right?
But Zoe, I want to send a shout out to you for doing such a positive,
Thank you,
uplifting,
Zoe.
educational show.
That's what's up.
It wasn't too crazy, and you know.
Oh, well, that's Friday.
We're helping.
Friday. Oh, my God.
Is that what that is? The Friday turn up?
Friday
Okay.
turn up is going to be nuts. We're going to be talking about all types of yogurt boxes and, you know, meat wallets.
Yoni. Yoni and beef curtains.
Listen, this is the voice of reason on Hot Button Radio. We appreciate you guys tuning in, and we're about to take off. But again, I love the whole team. You guys are doing great. And we're here Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll holla at you Friday evening. Deuces!
Bye-bye.